AMC has become pretty well known for their masterful storytelling capabilities, and Into the Badlands has no problem at all continuing that track record. Into the Badlands is a gritty action drama that centers around Sunny, a Clipper. Clipper is a term used for assassins that serve the barons or rulers of a world structured after the collapse of the one we know. It's beautifully shot with colors made to stand out against muted backgrounds, characters that leave you wondering whether or not they can be trusted, but keep you intrigued nonetheless, and action scenes for every episode that are reminiscent of the beautiful martial prowess of the best of the martial arts genre. Naturally, I was drawn to it as both a sci-fi geek and martial arts enthusiast, but also as an alternative researcher. The show didn't disappoint me on any of those levels, but let's focus on the alternative research angle. In the show, there's a young boy who's coveted for his unnatural strength that could be key to anyone who can control him and in turn it.
That's because his power is sleeping. It only wakes when his emotions are stirred and his skin is cut.
The boy's name is MK.
From Bale. MK.
Now come on, you thought of MK Ultra too. And yes, I do think somebody can have those initials and not be conspiracy related, but I think I'm going to do a pretty good job in this video exploring the other symbols associated with MK Ultra. And then it doesn't seem like such a stretch that that's what his initials could symbolize. After the death of her husband, the widow becomes a baron in her own right and a great threat to the other barons around her. The symbol that the widow has chosen for her baron symbol is a butterfly. Butterflies symbol monarch mind control, a continuation of MK Ultra. One facet of that programming is beta programming, which creates sex kittens. The first full view of her that we get, she enters with classic one-eye symbolism, and she's entering a strip club full of what could be deemed sex kittens. One more log for the fire though. In episode 2 of season 1, when we first see the widow's home, we're shown a checkerboard floor. This is right after the scene where Matilda shows MK a butterfly shuriken, and he comments that he's never seen one shaped like it before, placing emphasis on it.
Never seen one shaped like butterflies before.
Through the time spent in the widow's home, we are treated to a generous helping of checkerboard floor symbolism. The checkerboard pattern symbolizes duality and also goes back to Freemason symbolism. Take a look at this MK Ultra victim's paintings to see the connection that I'm getting at. One of the barons, Quinn's character, is presented to us with the blasphemous introduction speech. Now this is a common thread in media today, and one of the reasons I believe they bombard us with dystopian worlds. To preach there is no God and faith is foolish. I see this as subtle programming along with the be your own God train of thought.
People once thought there's a holy book. They believed it held the answers from a God that would save them. Boys, there is no God in the Badlands. How do I know? If God does not feed you or clothe you or protect you, I do.
He implies man does all the things God is supposed to do, so we don't need him. In this case, the Baron was putting himself in that position. Something else is that he gives this speech in what looks to be an old church, and we revisit this area when Quinn gives Sunny a lecture about his loyalty, and he mentions it's a chapel and how Sunny used to drink in his words.
I still remember the first time I saw you in this chapel, sitting right here in the front row, never averted your gaze. Drank in my words like a true believer.
This was reminiscent to me of a false preacher. The widow takes on the familiar role of the feminist that we see in media so often today. She pretends to be the mother figure of the female fighters in her charge, or her daughters as she calls them, providing them with safe haven and teaching them how to fight in a world governed by violence, thus giving them a way to traverse it. But Not unlike feminists in the real world, she's using them for her own gain, painting all men as the enemy because of her own views and wanting her girls to mete out her desires, and is just as domineering as her male counterparts. This is shown to us in the scene where she stops the girls from having innocent fun and shames them back into their role of subservience to her.
I asked for this place to be cleaned an hour ago. New recruits are coming and we need to be ready.
No one is coming.
What did you say?
I said that no one is coming.
Esther, take over here.
The next example we have comes right after this scene where Tilda rightfully questions her and reminds her that they are completely in her service, willing to both kill and die for her. In return, the widow reminds Tilda of all the nice things she's done for her, and she uses Tilda's rape experience as a weapon against her. A weapon to keep Tilda subservient to her.
Tilda, is there something you want to get off your chest?
We kill for you. We die for you. For what? Why did we frame Quinn for the robbery of the transport? Are we trying to start a war?
Do you really have such little faith in me? I recall a girl who used to cook me breakfast every morning. She always greeted me with a smile. Do you remember what happened to that girl, Tilda? What my husband did to her? What did I tell that girl?
That you would protect me and teach me to be strong.
You are strong, stronger than any man who would ever try and hurt you. We are fighting for a world where girls don't get dragged into dark rooms and have their innocence torn from them. But that world comes at a price. So remember that the next time you disrespect me in front of your sisters.
This is a common tactic of abusers to keep their victims from breaking the mind control they have over them. This is also very much like the guilt and shaming that goes into trying to force women into the feminist movement, and the attacking of women who happen to question the current popular narrative. I know this from experience. But another thing that it could be interpreted as is a handler taking charge over their victims. We have enough symbolism in relation to MKUltra that I don't think it's a stretch to suggest this. One more abuse tactic we see from her comes from when she's speaking to the cogs, or the slaves in this world, that she stole from Quinn.
Quinn and the other barons, they want you to believe they're benevolent because they protect you from the horrors of the world. I offer you a brighter future, a real future, one you can control. The other barons, they won't go quickly or quietly. If you're not up for the fight, you may leave now without punishment or consequence. Here in this sanctuary, you have your freedom. All I ask in return is your unwavering loyalty. What's your name?
Jalen?
Welcome, Jowlin. The other boys are already inside. Tilda will show you the way.
She tells them that Quinn and the other barons pretend to care for them because they protect them. This is in fact exactly what she does, and yes, the other barons as well, but she's presenting it as if she's different. What she's doing is pretending to be different and warning about the evils of others to make those in service of her feel protected, all the while committing those same evils. The victims are so distracted looking for the evils of opposition that they can't see that their handler is doing them to them. We've seen the elite use this tactic often in our false political system. Again, this is reminiscent to me of a handler's technique of a false sense of security. We see it again when she tells Tilda kindness is a weapon men use to get what they want.
I also saw you kissing him.
He was kind to me once.
Remember that kindness is a weapon men use to get what they want.
Yes, Mother.
Later in the first season, we see her try to manipulate Vale based on her womanhood as well, but Vale doesn't fall for it.
You have my word.
Forgive me if I don't believe you.
I have no reason to kill you. In fact, I bet we want the same thing. A peaceful world where all women have a voice that's heard.
She's shown to be an excellent judge of character in the series and has caught on to manipulative and deceptive characters before. Vale is a rational and brilliant character that sees this in the Widow, much in the same way she saw the snake-like ways of Quinn, and this is confirmed in the scene where she tries to give Tilda her agency back.
The way you worked to save my mother. Thank you.
I really don't think she has your best interests in mind.
You don't know her.
Any woman who forces girls to kill to show their love is not a mother.
What other choice do I have? I can't abandon the others.
I could give you another option. The 3 bottles. The blue one is the tincture. The other 2 are filled with poison.
What are you suggesting?
That you decide your own future.
If you've had The Wizard of Oz revealed to you as the window into MK Ultra that it is, then you probably know where I'm going with this. The poppy fields are featured quite heavily in the show because Quinn, Sunny's Baron, owns them. Their use for opium is also explored more than once. Opium is one of the drugs used to control MK Ultra slaves, and like I already mentioned, this show seems laden with references to MK Ultra and handler techniques. MK Ultra victims falling under the control of opium is what was implied in that famous Wizard of Oz scene, with a little bit of cocaine to wake them up. Druggery is one of the core components of MK Ultra mind control. MK's character, when cut, will gain strength and command over combat that rivals even the best fighters on the show. It hasn't been revealed what exactly causes this yet, so I can only speak on what it reminds me of. I'm sure we've all seen the popular depiction of demon possession in media. The black eyes and being completely out of control, and normally there's an uptick in the individual's strength as well. There's also the stories of the black-eyed children to consider. Black-eyed children are supernatural beings with childlike features and eyes that are pitch black. They appear on doorsteps or as hitchhikers to the people that have encounters with them. I'm not saying that that's what they're trying to go for here. Like I said, it hasn't been revealed what exactly MK is or why he has these abilities. It's just, this is what I thought of. The Widow's name is Minerva. Second character with a name that's really interesting to me. Minerva is the Roman equivalent of Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Minerva is often associated with the Owl of Minerva, which was the original symbol of the Bavarian Illuminati. We still see this symbol associated with the Illuminati today. It's even on our money. We already talked about the feminist angle of her character, but I think we can safely build on that and enter goddess worship territory as well. That's a current popular agenda we've been bombarded with. Think Beyonce's Grammy performance. In this show, colors play an important role to both the viewers and the story. They tell which characters belong to which faction, and because of the extremely cinematic nature of the show, colors can set the tone of the scene. Now the part I want to focus on is faction colors. The two main factions we spend time with is Quinn's, which is represented by red, and Minerva's, which is blue. You already know where I'm going with this, don't you? The red and the blue combination color coding is very common in our world. One place is the false left-right paradigm colors. Red and blue make purple, a color that represents the occult or magic and mystery.